Welcome to Zion Analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your continued support in this broadcast. Happy Mother's Day to all of you women who always support this broadcast. I know some of you might ask me Happy Father's Day. Your time will come. Our time, not your time. Our time will come. Back to our political discussion. After the State House had appointed the IEBC chairperson. I'm using State House because they're the ones who appointed that person. Kalonzo Musyoka is coming up with a serious bombshell and demanding to fight for this reason.
Is ready to count and protect its votes across all the polling stations in the country. This follows the nomination of the IEBC chairperson Erastus Edung Ethekon and 6 commissioners by President William Ruto without consulting or concurring with the opposition. Kalonzo says the opposition will not let the controversial nominations go easy, promising a fight. However, Kalonzo maintains that President Ruto must go regardless of who sits in the electoral body. At the same time, the same message was repeated at a separate funeral where MPs allied to Kalonzo and former DP Rigathi Gachagua danced to the 2027 political tunes. Ibrahim Karanja begins our broadcast tonight.
The burial of Kariobangi North MCA Joel Munuve in Mwingi was turned into a national stage for discontentment against President William Ruto's nominations to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. Opposition leader Kalonzo Musyoka sharpening his criticism of the names which were nominated without consultation and concurrence.
Huwezi kuwa wewe ni mchezaji na unachagua wewe referee yako. Haiwezekani.
Kalonzo challenged the legitimacy of the nominees, asserting that the process was partisan, thus warning that the opposition would not accept an electoral body handpicked by the president.
Sisi tuko tayari. Hata Ruto mwenyewe akijifanya ndiye chairman wa IEBC, Ruto must go.
He alluded to a letter he sent to both President Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga seeking dialogue on the IEBC appointments, which has received no response.
Mimi nilimwandikia barua William Ruto, hajajibu. Nilimwandikia Raila Odinga, sijapata majibu. We are not going to allow this thing to go easy.
The Wiper leader, who is perceived as a potential and the biggest challenger to President Ruto in the 2027 polls, is cautioning that the opposition would demand a thorough accounting of the 2027 election results and would not let the matter rest easy.
Tutachaguana katika kila polling station, 20,000 polling stations in this country, na tutatangaza mara moja. We will not need your IEBC. Wakenya wataamua wao wenyewe.
You have violated the principle of concurrence and consultation that underlay the Bomas process. We want to tell you we are ready for you nonetheless.
At a separate burial still within the Ukambani region, the rejection of the IEBC talk was still loud.
Saa hii imetengenezwa IEBC isipokuwa ni ngushi. Wakianza kuandikisha chukua kura, tutapiga kura nyingi waibe ikose kuibika. It does not matter, Mr. President, even if you appoint yourself as the chair of IEBC, Kenyans are tired. In 2027, asubuhi tumesema kitu moja, RMG, Ruto must go.
Bomet East Member of Parliament Richard Yegon also found himself in trouble after his statement that President Ruto would rule for 10 years.
President Ruto is going to be there for the next 10 years. I'm saying so. I have the right to say something, and I have to pass the message. Kalonzo has been missing the target for a long time.
With the burials held in Kalonzo's home turf, the 2027 politics played out, with DAPK leader Wamalwa calling on ODM leader Raila Odinga to throw his weight behind Kalonzo at the burial in Mwingi. I'm sure haitapotea. Siku inafika tutauliza baba arudishe Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.
Pastor Julius, Mama.
So the issue of RMT, Ruto must go, RMG, is still gaining and rising up in this country. Kalonzo's allies are fighting back and saying, even if you appoint the IEBC to yourself, you must prepare to go home as a one-term president. Because Kenyans are going to vote in large numbers and you will be defeated to rig this election. So let me tell you from what I'm seeing or I've observed from that video. Number one, there is panic for both political parties. They are panicking and wondering how Ruto is now coming up with these political cards. And if you recall what I said last year, I told you in this platform that those who are competing with William Ruto, he should or she should be smart enough because the one he's competing with is a cunning president. Unaweza fikiria ako na wewe hapa lakini ashajipanga mbele yako. Ashajipanga mbele yako. So it means that William Ruto is preparing himself, not any other person, but himself, how he's going to win this presidency. And that is where he's now dwelling in. Appointing IEBC. Watu wamechagua Nyachai, yeye kwa upande wake anaona Nyachai si mzuri, amejichagulia mtu mwingine Erastus. Ameona huyu Erastus ndiye ako sawa. Sawa ni vizuri pia because Turkana wameachiliwa sana. Sawa, let's hope that this is going to deliver. Mimi Kenya najua naweza omba serikali at least wakumbuka hata Turkana pia. Turkana over there wako na mapito sana. Mambo mengi sana. Of course, it is good to remember them. That is what president have done. But now raising a political challenges. Kalonzo Musyoka firing back and saying, if it is not going to be free and fair election, we must prepare to go back to the ballot, to the street. So in short, it is obvious Kalonzo is going to be the presidential candidate. From that point, time will tell, because there we have Gachagua, we have Kindiki, we have Matiang'i. Now, who is likely to be the deputy president? For the presidential candidate is Kalonzo. The deputy, Matiang'i maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very much shocked like that because that video explained what is happening between Ruto and the opposition. I wish you all the best. Thank you and bye-bye.